Ladies and gentlemen, no, Dragon Player, why? Snufkin, Dragon Age 4, FF7R1. Thank you for the sub, Dragon Player. Oh, and thank you for 2 years of support. I do appreciate you. And I do appreciate 2 years of support. I'll put that anniversary sub. I'm leaving that in. I'm leaving that in. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to talk about Mother 3, we have to talk about Mother 1. Or Earthbound Beginnings, as it is sometimes referred to as. So, in order to properly discuss this, we have to discuss Japanese culture for a second. So, you've probably heard of that whole thing where video games aren't art, right? Like, they don't count. They don't qualify as actual art, and they're only for kids, and blah, 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 all that crap, right? What you probably are aware of, but never really thought about, was that Japan went through that too. They just went through that a couple of decades before the rest of us did. Now, one of the bigger things that was being done at the time to try and combat that was they would have celebrities come out, and the celebrities would be like, hey, I endorse this game. And you should buy this game because I am also in it or involved with its production. Now, this worked exactly as well as you think it is, aka not at all. In fact, it actually made people less inclined to like video games because, try to be shocked, most of these celebrity-pushed games sucked. In fact, you probably think in your head, I've never heard of a Japanese celebrity-endorsed game. Yeah, that's because most of them, A, didn't come out outside of Japan, and B, sucked. There wasn't really much there. Unlike the Kirby Block 3, where there's lots of. And Metroid Prime 4. And Kirby Block 2. And, thank you, Little Billy, as always. No, not all this time. So, point being, they weren't really sure. Lost my train of thought. So, there was a late night talk show, and Mr. Itoy, who actually was quite a big celebrity at the time. He's still a bit of a celebrity, but he was quite a bit of a celebrity at the time. Was just randomly chatting, and not prompted, not paid, right? Not as part of a project. He just was defending video games. He was like, I don't see why everyone's so against video games. In fact, the games that were specifically coming up were Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. He's like, I don't get why there's such this push against this stuff. These are fun, interesting games that I enjoy playing. What's the problem? And that caused a bit of a stir. It caused so much of a stir that it got the attention of several of the executives over at Nintendo. Those executives then decided to reach out to Itoy and were just like, wanna go have lunch? It turns out Itoy had a game idea. Now, I've actually talked about this already, because we've already done pretty much a full lore run of Mother 2, aka Earthbound, the music you're hearing right now. So, I'm just kind of glossing over some of the details here, but the general idea is Mr. Celebrity here was being pulled in, and he was like, I've got a pitch. I've got an idea, I've got a concept. He already had a lot of the basics of what he wanted to do in his head, because he really did have a game idea just kind of burning inside him, and he really did want to make his version of Dragon Quest. So he pitched it to Miyamoto himself. Shoot, hang on one second. Yes, he pitched it to Miyamoto himself, who was, and I quote, unimpressed. Now you're probably thinking, what? Why? You're probably thinking it's because it was a story-heavy game, but you're actually extremely wrong. It was just because of the fact that Miyamoto was like, it's just another celebrity. It's just some other dude who wants to dip his toes into the thing. And remember, this was a big problem at this point in time in Japan. So Miyamoto was just like, eh. So Itoy ended up having to fight for the right. He basically had to convince Miyamoto that he was legit, that he actually wanted to make this game and actually wanted to be involved in the production of it. So after quite a bit of cajoling and finagling, Miyamoto's like, okay, I'm going to allow this. By the way, when I say cajoling, one of the things Itoy had to do was basically back away from his full-time job. Like, he didn't quit. but he pulled back on his hours substantially so that he would have more time to dedicate to the creation of Mother 1. And that was one of the big things that convinced Miyamoto that he was legit, that he actually wanted to make this game. He's like, okay, fine. Now, to his credit, once Miyamoto recognized that he was legit, he threw his weight into it too, and got together Ape Studios as well. I shouldn't say got together. I'm glossing over a lot here, but Miyamoto threw his weight into it. They got together Ape Studios, and they got together an entire development team and said, hey, here we go. And naturally, the development team were all like, ugh, what have we done wrong? After all, being assigned to a celebrity game with this asshole. So, if you're paying attention, this is now the third separate time that Itoi has had to prove that he actually wants to make a game to anybody involved with this entire process. Itoi, it's hard to properly say what Itoi is because we don't really have an equivalent here in the States, Sar. Itoi was a celebrity. He was a copywriter. He was actually a writer. He was a singer. He played in bands. He would show up at events. He would do acting. He was a celebrity. Not quite at the level of an idol, but definitely same headspace, right? Same general category over there. So now to everyone's credit, he convinced Nintendo, he convinced Miyamoto, and then he convinced his development staff that he was legit and actually wanted to be involved in this project. And I'm bringing up all of this because you have to understand how much of an uphill battle it was just getting this game made at all. Mother 1, not Mother 3. So after all of that work and effort, he finally pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And Mother 1 came out and was it didn't sell very well. Oh, it didn't sell badly. They certainly made their money back, and it certainly made a splash of its own right. But it was definitely what you'd consider a niche title. And as was pointed out just a second ago by Breakfast Sampler, NES RPGs were dime a dozen. They were actually quite common because they were so relatively easy to code compared to other kind of games you could put on the NES, especially in Japan. But what it did do was it got the attention of a lot of developers. I've actually talked about this before. There's this type of game. I'm sorry, Braven. There's this type of game which isn't really popular amongst us, the players, but is much more popular amongst the developers. System Shock 1 and Ico are two games I like to point to as games that didn't make much of a splash, but absolutely had a huge impact on the development space because a lot of the people actually making the games played it. Mother 1 was the same way. We've actually talked about that because it had an influence on the Final Fantasy series going forward, as well as the Dragon Quest series, both of which we've already kind of circled around, among others. So it was a sufficiently influential game and a sufficiently successful game that when he sat down and wanted to make his sequel, Earthbound, that was greenlit basically immediately. Nobody questioned him at that point. He'd already done all of the work, proving that he wanted to do this. In fact, he had done that work so well that by the time Earthbound had finished production and was being shipped, he had already had an idea for a sequel, Mother 3. Now, Mother 3 was going to be the big one. That was going to be the finale. It was going to be a trilogy. And that stays true to this day. But he really wanted to tell his third story. And so he already had a huge chunk of the story written. He had the outline completely done. He was ready with his pitch. And, of course, it was greenlit immediately. It's worth noting that despite the lackluster sales of Earthbound in the States initially, Earthbound has gone on to sell quite well for reasons we've already talked about. And Earthbound was a smash success in Japan. So, yeah, no problems on the financial side. Go make your Mother 3. So he started making it for the Nintendo PlayStation. Now, some of you in chat know what that means and are immediately like, oh. But even those of you who don't really understand what that means are probably thinking, oh. So for those of you not aware, I'm not going to go fully in depth into this. But once upon a time, the PlayStation was actually under development for Nintendo. It was actually initially a branch off of the SNES, which then started doing the Discity and turned into the SNESity, and it was a whole thing. And then there was some more or less last-minute shenanigans, and Sony swooped in and snatched it. Long story. There's a whole lot more going to that, but we're just glossing over this, okay? So, Mother 3 was initially in development. ITOI, Kennex Cow. So, okay, we can't make it for the Nintendo PlayStation because that died. Well, let's go back to working on the SNES. Now, if that sounds familiar, then congratulations, you've heard of Secret of Mana, which did the exact same thing. SOM was in development for the Nintendo PlayStation and later the CD thing. And then that was pulled back, and so they had to put it on the SNES. And that's why SOM is the way it is. So they were originally going to do that with Mother 3, but then they were like, Itoy himself really, really wanted full 3D. He wanted the Omega graphics. He wanted to really tell his story in full rendered 3D. And he was pushing for this really hard. So that didn't go anywhere because doing that on the SNES was possible. So instead, they started pushing it over to the 64DD. Something, well, actually, no, I'm sorry. No, it was to the N64 for next. The N64, however, wasn't really physically capable of doing what he wanted either, so they pushed it out to the 64DD, which is a console that you didn't even know existed until I mentioned it a few seconds ago. If you did know about it, you might not even know it. It actually came out in Japan only, and was one of the single biggest financial bombs that Nintendo has ever had in their entire career. Yes, more than the Virtual Boy. So, okay. That doesn't work. We'll pull it back to the N64. It'll be fine. Then the project was canceled. I should mention, just for perspective, that during this entire process, Mr. Itoy himself was going through a severe depressive episode, which shows in the story. But I just wanted to mention that for a bit of a thing, because we're going to cycle back to that. Anyways, so obviously, let's zoom in a little bit. So obviously the Nintendo PlayStation didn't happen. The SNES was incapable. The N64 was incapable. The 64DD was a bomb, and then the N64 was something that they hadn't actually solved the issues of. So it's like, so yeah, Itoy just literally said, it's okay. Let's throw in the towel. According to his own estimates, the game was about 30% complete when they gave up on it. Now, here's the funny one. A couple years passed. Quite a few years passed, actually. Itoy, kind of moved on with his life. Obviously, that was a huge black mark on his record. And I don't mean professionally, I mean like personally. It bothered him that he was never able to finish the trilogy. But what he found as the years moved on is, first of all, Earthbound got more and more of a following, especially over here in the West, as word of mouth started to spread. But also, the burgeoning internet started existing. And I know this is going to sound strange, but the internet was actually a pretty positive force in this particular era of history. Something we've talked about a bit, and some other things like, say, Star Trek Deep Space Nine is another example of how the internet could just be a way to connect with fans in a way that pretty much hadn't really been possible before. So Mr. Itoy would reach out to fans across the world, actually, and learned about several of the Earthbound or the Mother communities and fan bases and all that fun stuff, and started getting, Babylon 5 was another one, and started getting connected with them and received such nearly universally positive feedback that it bolstered him and made him think, maybe I should jump back into this. Now, credit where credit is due. When Itoy sat down and looked back at the project, the first thing he did was he said, what did I do wrong? He didn't say, how should I start over? He shouldn't say, he was just like, okay, stop. What was the mistakes I made? And while there were several, the big one was the focus on 3D. He stared at that and he said, that was my fault. I was getting caught up in the hype. Remember, this is mid to late 90s, so the 3D thing that we've talked about a lot was fully on the rise. He got caught up in the hype. He was focusing on the wrong thing. He just wanted to make his game and make it right. So he decided to just completely walk away from the 3D thing entirely and just make the game in 2D. So he reached out to Miyamoto, who, has credit where credit is due, immediately backed his play and said, done. Let's make it happen. Let's make your Mother 3 finally. And we've got this new thing that we're working on. It's called the Game Boy Advance. I think it'd be perfect for it. And he's like, oh, I don't want to go to a handheld. He's like, no. This thing's as good as a SNES on your pocket. Ooh, never mind. We should do that. So they got together, several of the development staff who had already worked on the Earthbound 64, as we now talk about it. Looked at assets, created assets from the pre-existing assets, almost copy-pasted the story from Earthbound 64. Didn't actually really change much, because they didn't have to. He'd already written the story out. Set it down. There's all sorts of other stuff I'm going to cover when we get here. But then they came out with it, and it was a smash hit. Mother 3 sold like bonkers. The GBA wasn't exactly the DS in terms of selling power, but amusingly, the DS Boost did actually boost sales of Mother 3, which makes sense if you remember that the DS had backwards compatibility with the GBA. So you could play Mother 3 on a DS. Yay. Now, all of that's a discussion of the game itself. Here's the thing. I do own a copy of this game, if you're wondering. I've owned a copy of this game for a long time. But here's the weird, funny asterisk. Yeah, no, the GBA wasn't the DS, but that's not saying much. Here's the weird asterisk. Mother 3 never got localized outside of Japan. One of my private goals for this run, which we're doing right now, was to finally do a no really deep dive on this and figure out why. And having done a substantial amount of research and effort and work and articles and reading and perusing and watching and listening, I have come to the conclusion that we don't know still. The phrase that usually likes to get bandied about is, oh, it's because of legal reasons and licensing reasons. That's a load of hooey. There is actually, no, I'm dead serious. There is legal precedent for the fact that the argument that it's because of musical stuff is bullcrap. That's also ignoring the fact that those are hurdles that are already surpassable and have been since 2019 at the earliest. So that's not it. That's not the reason. And I don't know what the reason is. Nobody does. Reggie himself, there's this old meme, right, about people asking Reggie, when are we getting Mother 3? The thing is, Reggie himself, by all accounts, never actually had an answer to that question. We actually have several accounts of him reaching out to Core Nintendo, aka Nintendo Japan, and saying, where the hell's Mother 3? And the answer he's gotten has been vague corporate speak of, well, it's not a project we have interest in. And it's like, okay, why? So, as of this day, this would be, what, 19 years later now? We still have not actually had an official localization of Mother 3. This is even weirder now in 2025, because a lot of Japanese-only games have bit by bit been trickling out of Japan. I mean, we just got Trials of Mana, what, like 4 years ago or something like that? For the first time, I feel like adding. So, I should mention that I will put this link in the VOD. There is actually someone who did an entire discussion about why it might be legal issues. Notice the word might. It is a theory. And again, I've already done my due diligence on this, and I disagree with the fact that it is legal issues. But I'm going to share it for the sake of conclusion, because it's something that a lot of people have spent a lot of time trying to figure out. Because why the hell hasn't this been localized? It's such a weird question mark in the history of the franchise. Live Alive R, FFT R, Fire Emblem Echoes. Thank you, little one, very much, as always. So, I do have a theory, because of course I do. Unfortunately, the theory is a vague theory, not a specific theory, but hear me out for a second. As I was digging through articles and interviews and listening to things they were saying, listening to tone and speech, trying to infer anything from any of this, I noticed a recurring trend. So, Japan has this thing. We've actually talked about it recently because we covered Xenogears not that long ago. And let me tell you, there's some weird parallels here between the situation that happened with Xenosaga 1 and 2 and Mother 3. Because there's a whole lot of, well, we're not supposed to talk about it. People get vague. There's this tone. You probably recognized it if you'd looked into it at all, especially in Japan specifically, where they just kind of talk around a topic because they're not supposed to talk about it. That's not something I'm supposed to comment on. That is not something I have the authority to speak on. That is something we do not discuss, etc., right? And there's a lot of that going on there. And universally, that tends to mean there's some kind, yeah, it's don't stir the pot, right? It's very Japanese culture, don't stir the pot. And if you ever encounter that, what that means is something happened. We don't know what, We may never know what, because again, we still don't know what happened with Xenosaga 2, to use a specific example, and that was a long time ago now, over 20 years ago now. But there's this whole don't talk about it vibe. I think what happened is something happened. I don't know what, and I may never know what. But whatever it is, it was sufficiently a big deal that the order came down from on high. Don't touch that project ever again. And that's just where we're at with Mother 3. Don't touch the project. You'll notice that despite the fact that they arguably have legal rights to do so, Nintendo has never gone after the fan translation of Mother 3. They could have. We know Nintendo likes to be litigious. See the current thing about Pokemon and Palworld, which is still ongoing as of the recording of this stream. But they didn't. And that just makes the whole thing a little bit weirder, too, doesn't it? Because it's not like Mother 3 didn't sell well. So, here's the other thing. This is the final piece of why I think something happened. So, you're probably familiar with the fan translation, and obviously that's what we're playing today. It's the only real way to play the game. What you might not know is that the header of that project was Clyde Mandelin. He was a legendary localizer, great dude. She bought several of his books, and he had already done work in the industry localizing games from Japanese into English. In other words, he had some insider tracks. Now, I mention this because he himself has also never spoken about some of the specifics here. But what we do know is even though the game was released in 2006, the announcement for the fan translation was also announced in 2006, just a few months later, actually. Now, if you don't understand the unusualness of that, let me be very clear. Generally speaking, the only reason that someone would jump on such a project is if they had a substantial amount of evidence that there was not going to be a localization. Which means that even in 2006, with the release of the game, and Clyde mentioned he had reached out to Nintendo and Ape in particular to figure out if they're going to localize it, he knew already there wasn't going to be a localization. Something he himself has also not talked about, because something happened. So, whatever it was, it's not really technically any of my business, but something happened. They're not going to localize it. Fine. We'll do it ourselves. So, Clyde got together and put together the single largest scale and most well-publicized and best-received fan translation ever. There's been a lot of good fan translations over the years, don't mistake me. And a whole lot more terrible ones. But this is the big one. I cannot do this project justice. I was long out of the RPGE scene, long out of the localization scene when this stuff was all happening. I just kept an idle eye on it because obviously I had an interest in Earthbound 2, but also because Clyde Mandelin is just fantastic and does some great stuff. This was a huge project. This took a couple of years. This was done by people who had day jobs. This was done on the side. One of the biggest hurdles was the usual hurdle. A lot of people don't understand this. When you localize something, you don't just translate the text and then replace text in a text file. You have to change how the game actually renders the text itself. Something I discussed when it came to Earthbound, because Earthbound had to invent, Mr. Iwata, I remember this, had to come up with a whole extremely complicated subcode in order to actually basically program to program within the program, just in order to render the text properly, which is why Earthbound's text is so awesome. Yeah, there's tons and tons of work and effort that went into reprogramming the game, having to actually go in and alter the game indirectly via assembly in order to make it so that it would actually work correctly. Yeah, Rip Iwata. The world continues to be a worse place for his absence. He was rare. And that's all I'll say about that. So, last thing about Mother 3 I want to mention here. This is not going to be quite a lore run, but this is going to be pretty close to a lore run. I should also mention, I've never beaten this game. By which I mean I've never played this game. So this is actually going to be new to me. At least on the gameplay axis. I am very familiar with the story, obviously, for reasons I don't feel the need to get into. I just never got around to actually playing the damn thing. I've owned a copy of the cartridge since it first became available, like 16 years ago now or something like that. It's been a while. But I do want to say shout-outs and thank you to several people, because several dedicated people made this run happen, not the least of which are Echtklug, Eon Dragon 20, Floating Triangles, Frieza 2000, Fuzzy Duck, Game Geek 5698, Jesse's Mask, Judo Joker, Cass P2, Lucas Slaughter, Mr. Red 97, Mr. Treeman 6989, NLD Classic Game Lover, Peznator, The Little Billy, The Mentor King, President Clamp, Bragwin, Tar Hunters, Retro Justice, Ginger Ninja 1, person who put this game on the list, which is Colin Peluso, our majority shareholders, which include Random Bystander here, and Rex Yaldabaoth, and Chill Pangolin, and our overwhelmingly huge majority shareholder, which is Savacom. Thank you, all of you, very, very much. Much obliged and appreciate. Oh, and all I'll say about the official acknowledgement of the fan translation is, while we're not sure about Nintendo of Japan, we know Reggie was aware of it. In fact, we know Reggie endorsed it. Make of that what you will. This is a free, unofficial translation made entirely by Mother Earthbound. Please support this series by purchasing the official merchandise, including the official translation, if one is ever released. Hang on. How long has it been since 2008? Hang on. That's 17. This message was put up 17 years ago. That's ominous. So this is interesting. Oh, it won't let me do it. No. I have no idea, Zar. I sincerely doubt it. I'm pretty sure Mother 3 was the last game he made. And this came out in 2006. I was going to hit the don't care because there's an interesting programming quirk. Oh, there we go. You notice how it's just putting Lucas there. That's because it actually has the same programming as Earthbound, where it cycles through different names. But for whatever reason, there's only one name listed in all the entries, which is Lucas. There's Klaus. We'll go and just go with default names for this playthrough. And Walker, which will be our name for this character. Gravity Circuit, huh? I remember liking the looks of it, although obviously I haven't played it. Chained Echoes, and Expedition 33, which I'm almost guaranteed not to like. Happy Thanksgiving, Walker. Thank you very, very much. Always appreciate you, Walker. Thank you. So there we'll have Flint, the kind, strong, dependable father. See you around, Jesse's Mask. Oh, and we gotta have the beloved mother, Hinawa. So we've got Lucas, Klaus, Flint, and Hinawa. The dog. Ugh. Fine. You could be bony, I guess. What's your favorite homemade food? See, there's lots here, see? Let's see. Favorite homemade food. We all know it's sushi. It's gonna go with sushi. Sushi! Oh no, no, wait, back. No, no! I can't back off. No! Well, now my favorite food is sushi. What's my favorite thing? Power. Yes, yes. Good, good. Yeah, plain is fine. Welcome to the world of Mother 3. No, it's not sushi, Lord Hammer. It's sushi. Wow, that's a small world, after all. Welcome to Nowhere Island. This is a Tazmily family. Tazmily village, excuse me. The stuttering's terrible, but I like the brickwork. It's the GBA. Beyond the Sunshine Forest. Home of Alec, Hinawa's father. I have actually beaten Mother 1, and it is not on the list. It's kind of soft vetoed, because Mother 1 is a terrible game. Lucas, how long are you going to sleep? Get up so we can play. Get up already. The Dragos brought their babies over. They're really cute. Okay, what? I'm here. I'm awake. Hang on 1 second. Excuse me. Nah, it didn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better either. What the hell? Hang on, I'm having a weird issue. It's been a while since we've played a GBA game. I've had to mess with this for a while. Yeah, Ross. I don't encourage it for obvious reasons, but you can do it. Oh, that looks terrible. Oh, that looks terrible. Get over it. Get rid of it. Yeah, the jerkiness is just really awful. Let's fiddle with something here really quick. There we go. That's much better. No, it's fine, Ross. I don't encourage it because it is more paperwork, but it really isn't the end of the world. It is ultimately your allocation. Sorry, give me 1 second. I want to check something here. Okay. Okay. And then we've got our save. We've got our save. Save isn't working. Why is save not working? Why is this not working? Hi, Savicom. I knew it! You didn't want to watch the run that you basically single-handedly made happen. Why is this not working? I'm sorry, 1 second. We're having a small technical issue. What was the last GBA game we played? Whoa, 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 whoa. It's not drop marking. Expensive and hard to replace controller. I mean, VTMB2 didn't have functional mirrors. Pokemon Red, that was the Game Boy. Donkey Kong Country is on the SNES. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I think it was Mario 2 or 3. That would have been a minute ago. No, it would have been Metroid Fusion. Still a minute ago. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Sleepyhead Lucas. Klaus has been up for a while playing with the Dragos. Playing your pajamas? Get upstairs and change your clothes. Okay, okay. God. Much better. You missed all the behind-the-scenes stuff, though. Sorry, Savicom. Four Swords was on the GameCube. Oh, you're up, Sleepyhead. Well, today's the day you head back home. I'm gonna miss you guys. Still more stuttery than I would like. Hang on 1 second, please. That may just be the GBA. The GBA is not great about that. How does we do this? God. I'm sorry, Savicom. Well, Savicom specifically asked about the ads, but I'm actually not going to talk about those yet, believe it or not. Still doing it. I think that's just the GBA. I think that's just what it is. Yeah, I think that's just something we're going to live with. Sorry. Yes, I realize I just changed the size. Hang on, sorry. 1 second, 1 second. I'll stop fiddling with it, I swear. Oh, absolutely, Dr. Winter. I stopped playing on my GBA pretty much the moment I got my DS. Yeah, there's one more thing I'm looking for. Let's see if I can find it. And then I'll walk away from this. Hey look, this has an option to mute the game when you alt-tab. Emphasis on the word option. That's not enough. Whatever, I'm up. Well, other than the GBC, but yes, I'll copy. Oh god, that's gonna drive me bonkers. Just gonna live with it. Just gonna live with it. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah. Whew, I'm beat. I've been play fighting with the Dragos all morning. You should play too, Lucas. Yeah, okay. Try ramming into a Drago. Lucas doesn't know how to ram things yet. Lucas, try to imagine a thing called a B button. Hold the B button for a second, then let go. That'll let you dash. Yeah, just like that. Now it's your turn, Lucas. Give it a try. No, this is actually a narrative beat, believe it or not. Obviously, it's a tutorial. But the whole point here is that this is an island that is so peaceful that the kids are playing with the T-Rexes. And this is a regular occurrence. Already running, the more the Dragos like it. Make movement! Out of the way! Make way for the Great Mole Cricket! Can't just sit idly by when I hear someone play fighting. I'm gonna wipe the floor with all of you. Get in my way and you're in for a world of pain. You've encountered the Mole Cricket. I see you have more of a spine than I thought. If you'd like, I could train you personally sometime. Next time we meet, it'll be at the Big Mole Cricket Hole Stadium. I look forward to seeing you there. Bro. I stepped in a mole cricket. I hope it's alright. It's fine. Lunch is ready, everyone. I made your favorite, boys. Sushi! Ooh, lunch! Lunch! Sushi! Sorry. You too, Dad. Now then. Listen, folks. Here's how to save. Talk to frogs. That's how you save. It's not too tedious or troublesome, so you should talk to frogs as often as you can. Plus, saving is absolutely free. Now, time to return to the story. Hey, wait for me. You saved me some sushi, too, I hope. What's your favorite food, Mom? Oh, sushi? Then your favorite is the same as ours? Make a good match. Yeah, I personally prefer lechong sushi. After we're done eating, we need to get ready to go home. We have to go through the forest to get back, so we'll need to leave early. Don't be silly. I bet you kids can make it there on their own. It's that safe. I bet you can even handle it. Even you can handle it, Lucas. Dear Flint, just like you said they would, the children have been running around the mountains and fields tirelessly since the moment we arrived. Klaus is as daring and full of energy as ever. Lucas is a bit coddled, but neither one seems tired of playing at all. My father seems sad to say goodbye to his grandchildren after seeing them for the first time in so long, but we should be home by this evening. I've forgotten how nice and refreshing the mountain air is. You can always cover it in the smell of sheep back in Tasmilly Village, so Wish you could have been here to take in the air. Next time we visit, let's ask one of our neighbors to tend the sheep so we can all come up here as a family. Klaus, Lucas, and I were always thinking about you. When we get home this evening, I'll start cooking some of your favorite sushi right away. With love, your dearest Hinawa. I don't think I've ever noticed that song before. That's some interesting foreshadowing. See, I even got my silver tie out for us. So, bad guys and incompetent all established without dialogue in a few seconds of animation. Chapter 1, Night of the Funeral. Everything's gonna be fine. Flint! 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 The fire! 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 The Sunshine Forest is on fire with a huge fiery flaming fire. What? Time for me to hit the old dusty trail. Gotta do something quick, Flint. It's the forest, the forest, the forest is on fire. Jeez, who would lock their door in a village as peaceful as ours? Flint? Ah, the doorknob. Why'd you have to come off at a time like this? Ah, doorknob. I mean, Flint. There's no time to be dozing off. There's a huge fire in Sunshine Forest. Bad times like this call for reckless, nice guys like you. Please come, Flint. No. I'll just have to drag you there myself. Okay. I'll follow behind you. What? What's wrong with that? I happen to like following behind people. Hey, Ben Wilmot. Ah. I'm not sure who did it. Ooh, sheep. Delicious sheep. Save frog. Give my regards to the next frog you meet. Okay. Why do the frogs... Okay, never mind. Doesn't even matter. Flint! The whole sky north here is pitch black with smoke. The forest catches on fire. Klaus and Lucas and Hinawa might be stuck out there. The Sunshine Fire, it's on forest. No, wait, the Funshine Forest is on tire. Brilliant. Flint, the Sunshine Forest is on fire. So I maybe give you a hand, too? Wait, I'm actually pretty busy, you know. No, I mean, you know how it is. Sorry, I'll leave everything to you today, Flint. Mr. Flint, you should probably take whatever Thomas says with a grain of salt. That's just the kind of person he is. You're saying Sunshine Forest is on fire. If that's true, better get our butts out of here before the fire engulfs our village, too. Thomas, what are you running around acting like a siren for? Honestly, now. Better not cause too much trouble for Flint. We need something for the map-loving, map-owning map, then. It must be a map, yes? Please take one with you. Thanks. You heard about Lighter's shack deep in the Sunshine Forest, yeah? I've marked it on the map for you. Please hurry and see if it needs help. Oh, whoops, silly me. Hard to check the map. You need to... How do I put this? Fill your right index finger with a wish. Or strength. Or hit the right button. And there's a... Oh my god, a game with a map! Sorry. It took you long enough. Go check out the fire. Chop chop. If the fire spreads, my honor, my estate, and I will all go up in smoke, literally. Go north. North, I say. North, as in north, south, east, west. Why do you force me to explain such simple things to you? Just hearing there was a fire has me coughing uncontrollably. I'm ultra sensitive to things, you know. By the way, if you'd prefer to run instead of walk, I recommend setting the dash ability. Hey, speaking of which. We have the skill of brute force. It does kind of sound like what he wants, doesn't it? Flint, Sunshine Forest, which is west of Crossroad and past the Prayer Sanctuary, is apparently on fire like crazy. Sorry, that sounded so explanation-like. Mr. Flint, if you lose your way, be sure to check a signpost and message boards. I'm telling you this out of the kindness of my heart, just so you know. Thanks. Even if I did go on ahead, I just know I'd be no help at all. What should I do? Flames started coming away, so we ran here with all our might. But old Lighter and Little Fuel are stuck in the forest. What are you doing? Quit pushing that. Quit it. Seriously, stop. Keep pushing that. I'll be sick. Why do you keep pushing it? You did it again. If you keep pushing this, I'm gonna... Ugh. Just, you know, if something bad happens to me, it's all because you kept pressing that stupid thing. You're welcome. I'm here to help. Flint, hold up, wait up. Any responsible person heading to the forest would first step by the sanctuary to say a little something to the forest gods. At least that's my opinion, anyway. Is it so wrong of me to think that way? Yes. Is it? Is it so wrong of me to think that way? Yes. Is it so wrong of me? Is it so wrong of me? Okay, fine. Pray that the forest and the people and animals can all have happiness. There's a fire, dude. Okay. Please tell me your name. The name of the person playing this game. Savaka. Oh, it'll fit. Look at it. Check it out. It'll actually fit. Savacom Romulan. I was worried I was have to do like Savacom Romulan. No, Savacomulan. There we go. Savacomulan. Understood. Savacom Romulan. Your name is Savacom Romulan. Yes, yes. Okay then, please enjoy the game. After I count down from 3, you'll free or ever ask this question. Ooh. Have you forgotten? No. You must forget. Okay. Where's the fire? Is it on fire? I bet it's a big giant foresty fire. This is a big emergency, so I came to help out. But Ed won't let me through. I can be useful too, you know. I'm not just some annoying onlooker. Flint, oh, thank heavens you're here. I think Lighter and Fuel are still stuck inside the forest. Don't worry, I'll hold back these rubberneckers. You just hurry and find them. Oh, it's you, Flint. I thought I saw someone as manly as me walking this way. Smoke is terrible, and with my sensitive throat, I can't continue any further, so you'll have to have this cookie instead. Let this slightly unclean and not very tasty cookie be of use. A nut cookie. By the way, that is the third version of this motif we've heard already. That's kind of wild. So, combat, huh? So the biggest thing I've been worried about this whole time is whether or not I'd be able to figure out the combat. Apparently the answer is no, because I'm trying to do it and I'm failing at it. Oh well. There's like a whole musical nature to the combat, and I have never been able to figure it out. Hi, Cyclops. Ooh, nut bread. Beware of poisonous snakes. There should be antidotes around here somewhere. Yeah, speaking of which. Isaac B. There's no need to rush. 5-second rejuvenates. Kokori spring water. An extra syllable. Imagine a spring where you can walk into it and feel fully healed, even if you're completely clothed. Like, our clothes are sopping wet, but it's okay. That's a good question, Blade Devil. We've pretty much gone as far as I've ever gone in this game. How much I haven't played this game? I'm being kind of serious. Oh, Flint. I've breathed in too much smoke. Lighter and Fuel aren't back yet. I'm pretty sure they're stuck in the forest. Don't worry about me. Go help them. I mean, do I have to? Yeah, everyone's strangely calm during a forest fire, aren't they? I'm only calling attention to that because that's actually a plot point. So, keep that in the back of your mind somewhere. You'll notice, by the way, we have the same, I don't say terrible, but not very good inventory of Earthbound. Although, at the very least, key items are a separate category this time around and don't take up inventory space. Still, nothing stacks because screw you. Equipment also takes up inventory space, just like back in Earthbound. By the way, those are yams, which are monsters, so they're called Yamonsters. I just wanted to share that. So that's the musical thing. Apparently. I do like how a lot of these things are dropping all kinds of healing items, which is helpful for this early part of the game. Pokemon! It is a form of timed hits, yeah. Thing is, it changes based on either the song or the battle or both. I forget. Don't ask me. Nothing's even tutorialized that it's a thing yet, so... Never seen a bug like this before. Lighter. Hey, Lighter. You alright? He's fine. Oh, Flint and Thomas, damn it. Gotta beat these things up, but more just keep coming. I can't get past them. What is that thing? A bug? No. They're going around the forest lighting fires, but never mind that. Fuel's still at home. What, fuel's still in your shack? Flint, you go help Fuel. I'll look after Lighter. Okay. I was gonna do that anyways, but sure. Yeah, it's probably worth doing. Just heal up before we head off to this. A firefly. Get it? Because it's... okay. Ow. Ow. Again. We've been over this before. Just breathing fire on my face, like you do. Good lord. Thought I healed before this. Hi, Mr. Red. Yeah, as usual, when you only have one party member, your action economy kinda sucks. Okay, we're gonna immediately heal, because that hurt. I really recommend you save now. Okay. Yeah, Earthbound. A lot of RPGs have that early on. Like Pokemon. Well, old Pokemon. Help. It's fine. Just jump out the window. Or die. It's a flying mouse. Okay. This thing hurts like hell. It's okay. I have some health left. Oh god, thank god we leveled. Let's blow our last, I think, nut bread here. Yep. Notice we're already at the point where Nutbread isn't keeping up with how much damage we're taking. Okay. So get rid of the support beam, dude. Hello, Elizar. Flint. Come on, Fuel, let's get you out of this fire. Go. I'm pitch black and covered in soot. I'm alive. Oh, you're pitch black too, Mr. Flint. Thank you, Mr. Pitch Black Flint. Thank you so much, Mr. Pitch Black Flint. Oh yeah, we need to let my dad know I'm okay. He's probably worried sick about me somewhere. Nah, he's fine. By the way, only 2 save slots, which is a limitation of the GBA. Blah, 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 blah. We're walking. We're walking. All covered in soot. Get out of here. God dang it. Come on, kid. Let's get all this soot off of you, shall we? Also, I could really use a heal. Oh, there we go. Well, I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that. Because, I mean, we only got into the hot... Yeah. Anyways. Thanks, game. Hey, I don't know who you are, Mr. Pitch Black Guy, but thanks a million for saving Fuel. You're really pitch black. Uh-huh. Oh, Fuel Flint. You're pitch black and covered in soot, but you're all right. Looking for lighter. Thomas took him to the prayer sanctuary. You really are pitch black. Yeah, I get it. Thank you. I've got soot all over my face. Flint, you're pitch black and covered in soot, but you're all right. Being the responsible man I am, I managed to bring lighter here. Hurry and let him see Fuel. Or is he? Dad! Royce, is that you, Fuel? You alright? What happened to you? You're pitch black and covered in soot. Yes, I get it. Thank you. Thank you, game. What about you, Dad? You busted your leg. Oh, this ain't nothing. All I gotta do is twist it like so, and then do this. Ah! Boss, what in the world are you doing? Fixing my injuries, obviously. What does it look like? Yeah, but you sure are lucky Flint showed up when he did. Yeah, he and Leiter have always been quarreling buddies since they were kids. It's enough to make me jealous. No, Elazar. Thanks, Flint. Guess I showed you my not-so-tough side, huh? I owe you one for today. I think that could be the first time I've ever heard the boss thank anyone. Yeah, you're right. Only thing that could make this any stranger if it suddenly started pouring rain. And now it's starting to rain. Let's just hope this rain puts out the fire. We need to tend a lighter. Let's head back to the village for now. It was actually fuel rain. There you are, Flint. You're all patched up now. Good thing you and Fuel only suffered light injuries. I don't know, that mouse beat the crap out of me. It's been a while since Tasmilly's last had rain. But please get some nice rest. Helping others out by what? Helping others out by being helped by others helping others out. What? Isaac said he was going to go into the mountains to pick mushrooms. Hope he's alright. He's fine. He's dead, but he's fine. When are Hinawa and the others coming back? With the forest like it is now, won't the way back be dangerous? Looks like Dad wasn't as hurt as bad as we thought. Thank you so much. Flint, did you see anything else in the fire besides those weird bugs? Talk about some suspicious people with pig masks on. Those bastards. They turned the forest pitch black. And you, Flint, you wound up pitch black too. You should get some rest now, Dad. Oh yeah, you were pitch black too, Fuel. Come on, Dad, you really need to rest now. Cheers to the rain for putting out the fire. My husband's such a wimp. He was a nervous wreck during the fire. I was worried more about him than the fire. Hey, Flint. Sorry I wasn't much help earlier. But if something ever happens again, I promise I'll help out. You must be tired. You should go rest. No, they totally do like to know. Flint. Perfect timing. Heard you were taking a rest here. Mighty heavy rain, isn't it? I think I'll join you under the awning. Flint, tell me. Have you seen Hinawa and the kids? No. I see. Actually, I was up in the mountains earlier picking mushrooms. Well, as I caught sight of Hinawa. While I was taking a break by the river, I heard loud roars off in the distance. It sounded like it might have been a Drago that was roaring. After that, I heard what I think might have been screams. Say, Flint, Hinawa and the kids made it back home, right? You know, it's dangerous to be out at this time of night. That's what I'm telling these two, but they won't listen to me, of course. She did say they were coming back today. What could Klaus and Lucas be? Clint. You should probably head back home and check on things. Well, okay. But only because I was going the wrong way to do exactly that. Oh god, look at that stuttering. Oh my gosh. That stuttering is terrible. Oh hey. It's the letter. Don't repeat the letter. We just read it. We just read. I'm not reading it twice. Oh, they're still not back? All this rain, they could catch cold. I'll go find them. They're probably taking shelter from the rain. So it's getting late. We should all go look for them. Let's get the other villagers to help, too. Okay, I'll go tell my dad, then. Don't worry, everything's fine. Woof, woof. Please take me with you. I'm sure I'll be helpful. Sure. Oh my god, what is with that stuttering? You're seeing that, right? That's not just me. Like, I don't think that's a VSync issue. It started happening ever since it started raining. Good lord. Hold on. Hold up. Might be part of the game. Hold on, this is the GBA. It had lots of issues like that. Let's see if we can look this up really quick, shall we? Good morning, Evo. Ugh. This is Earthbound 2, Morganite. Or more accurately, Mother 3. Hmm. I see a lot of people with this issue and nobody responding to them. Hmm. One tiny change. See if that changes anything. Nope. Immediate awfulness. It is possible that's just how it plays on the GBA. I legitimately don't know. I don't really have a... I do have my physical copy, and I do have my GBA, but I'd have to go dig both of those out. And I don't really care that much. It is very... See, the thing is, I was suspecting it's a lack of V-syncing. But unfortunately, near as I can tell, there is no V-sync option. Which, you know, would be nice to just turn that on and fix that. Let's try this. Let's see what this does. Hammer Brothers from Mario 3. What was there? It looks like that actually fixed it. Holy crap. Yeah, I think that actually fixed it. It's bad, real bad. You know, when the kids aren't back. Yeah, I know that. Looks like I went to the prayer sanctuary. I really want to help you out. Honest. I'm just totally not the guy. Bye. Yeah, I was debating the raccoon feather. And consequently, the cape for the same basic reason. There you are, Flint. I asked everyone to split up and search the forest for Hinawa. You've been blessed with kind friends. Must be true happiness in one sense. Right. I want to look up one more thing. Sorry, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Alright, whatever. I give up. Ice Flower. Let's see. We last saw the Ice Flower in 3D World, wasn't it? Something like that. It's cold rain. I don't like it. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to stop. It's rain, dude. It can rain for hours. Ooh, a nut. You know, I promise you teach me how to make delicious sushi. Or days, yeah. Or Seattle, Mook. I knew it was one of the Wii U ones. Or I guess technically the Switch ports, but yeah. I'm pretty sure that's deliberate, Ultragorth. By the way, hi, Ultragorth. Sparrow advice. Some people always try to avoid fighting when there's enemies around. You know the type, right? They use the dash ability to zoom right by. I guess you could say they're followers of peace at any price. Oh, no. I'm not saying that's how you are or anything. I'm just thinking, if you keep running from everything now, later on when you have to fight, you'll have a real tough time because you lack experience. Always running off will only lead to regrets, my young disciple. Please keep this in mind. Now to end this with a sparrow-like chirp, 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 chirp. Interesting way to convey that to the player. See, there's this thing called the Korean myth. Some kids will come up with that term. In, like, 2004. Which is actually before this game came out, so... never mind. That's a weird thought. I was working at Arby's before this game came out. Yeah, you wanted I'm old. I got run over by a car before this game came out. Ooh, bounty leveled. Sorry I'm so yawny today. I'm probably going to try to take a nap during the lunch break. A baked Yamonster. Get it? Because there was a forest fire, so now the Yamonsters are... Anyways. So let's see. Let's use... Swing? No. Power Smash. Perfect. Okay, let's try Strengthen Up. Ow. Oh, I think he was much better in the movies. Of course, I think that about every character. Death to the books! You know what seems to have a good head on her shoulders? Not you, though. You're pretty careless. I bet you forgot to bring antidotes with you into the forest. Despite the fact that the place is teeming with mighty bitey snakes everywhere. Here, you can have one of my antidotes. If you don't think that'll be enough, you can always get some more at Isaac's house. Thanks. Character's better in Lotro? No. Don't worry, Flint. With all these people looking, I'm sure we'll find them soon. Let's have faith and keep searching. Yeah, that's why I stalled for so long, Mr. Ed, because I was like, there's plenty of great characters in Lotro, legitimately. But, like, yeah, they're original characters. Level 10. Woo! So Lotro starts pretty much right about when the Fellowship is on its way to / is reaching Rivendell, and ends way after the books terminate. Like, it's actually still going. Like, the Dark Lord is very dead. Would I say the book has filler moments? Yes, but actually not as many as you'd think. Is it canon? No. Despite the fact that it's trying very hard to adhere to the books and not anything else. Wait, seriously? They're releasing an expansion right about when the Midnight pre-patch goes live? I guess that's normal. All the MMOs release stuff at the same time, for some reason. I wouldn't be surprised if there's an FF14 patch soon. I don't actually know off the top of my head, because I stopped paying attention to that. Apparently in 22 days. There you go. So WoW's getting a patch next week. Lotra's getting a patch a week after that. And then about a week and a half after that, Lotra's getting a... Or sorry, FF14's getting a patch. Meanwhile, Guild Wars 2 just had an expansion. And Ciela _ is right here. And is awesome. Unrelated. Just thought I'd mention it. I don't want to sound unkind, but those are there for you, not for me, Federation Builder. I don't get anything from those. The point behind using the bits is so that people who don't have money to support the show can still have some say in what it is we stream. So, AC Valhalla, Alundra, and Killzone. Oh, never mind, December 3rd, so that's right alongside the upcoming WoW patch. So that's going towards Undertale Yellow, and then Dispatch, and then Prime 4. Ciela, thank you for the sub, very much. And thank you for being part of the show, Federation Builder. Speak. The house I was secretly living in burned down. Aw, that poor mouse. No, come back. Guess I have no choice but to hit the road. Poor mouse. Oh, and I guess the people. No, don't give me money, Federation Builder. I'm fine. I'm just making it clear. Those are for you, not for me. I didn't realize at 4 because the flames were so intense at the time, but it looks like this area over here got hit really bad by the fire too. Yeah, haha, this is the area we couldn't even reach earlier. Fire, then rain, and then children's smiles. It'll be alright. Reggie knows it. Yep, everything's gonna be A-okay, everybody. Okay, so what particular flavor of awful is everyone in chat expecting this to go? Don't answer if you already know where this is going. Because everyone in chat immediately is like, oh my god, this is going to go so badly, right? Like, that's just... We're programmed to that, right? If you show us a fiction where, like, everyone's happy and smiling, your first thought is, oh god, what horrible death is about to happen. Claus is a troublemaker, so I bet he's hiding around here somewhere watching us worry our heads off. But Lucas is a crybaby, so I bet he's probably in tears by now. Yeah, that Lucas, what a crybaby. Meanwhile, Boney's on the verge of death. Friggin' dog. There you go. Live, dog. Live. Weaks against fire, weak against crying. I don't have either of those things. Sweet, the baked yam dropped a baked yam. Ooh, beef jerky. Here. I'm sure Klaus and Lucas will come racing along here before long to have some of these slightly unclean and not very tasty cookies of mine. Why are they? A mini charm. A what? I've been calling their names for a while, but there's been no response at all. I think maybe they're not in this area. Clint, what should we do? You know, his father lives right past here, but... Actually, it looks like someone went and snapped these in half, not lightning. That can't be possible. Yeah, ignore the claw marks. I can't believe my eyes. Just look at this, Flint. These huge trees were snapped right in two. How could such big trees get ripped down like this? There's one thing for sure. Whoever did this, it wasn't human. And no, it wasn't me. What do we do now? We have the path completely blocked. Actually, Hinawa and the kids might be stuck out there because all these knockdown trees blocking the way. Even if it's not the most direct path, we should look for another way around. Probably best if we split up into a few groups. Hey. We found Hinawa and the kids. A lighter? You sure you're good enough shape to be out here? I'm always in good enough shape. Don't treat me as some kind of injured clod. You are an injured clod, though. We'll take care of things here. You keep pushing on ahead, Flynn. Okay. Hope Hinawa's alright. She's fine. Janelle and the others are all gathered at the bottom of the cliff over there. Wonder if something's happened. All the forest critters are acting weird, and I'm suddenly getting real bad vibes here. Oh no, I mean that in a good way. What I meant to say is I'm getting good bad vibes, if that makes sense. Just a guess, but I'd say a Drago climbed up from here. What gave that away? Jesus. See those claw marks? Those almost certainly belong to a Drago. But how did Drago claw stuff like this enough to leave gashes in rock? Such peaceful creatures. I get the feeling something very bad has happened to the forest and the people and the animals and me. It's fine. What do you smell, boy? What do you smell? Boney, Boney! What is it, Boney? Flint, I think Boney found something. Oh, look up there. There's a scrap of cloth. Do you see it? It's a bit of red right over there. What is it? Is there something on top of this cliff? Old man Wes, what are you doing here? Sorry to say, there's nothing a rickety old man can do to help us out. There is something Rex can do to help us out, though. And let's put it towards Dragon Quest 9, Tunic, Axiom Verge 2. Thank you very much. Yeah, you notice the grass work is pretty decent so far. It's because they do a good job with adding the outline. You know, it's the two-tone outline. And of course the little tufts periodically. It's pretty much the exact same thing Link to the Past did. Although less animated. Like, which is really funny considering this game came out 15 years after Link to the Past. Oh, Flint. Don't tell me. You intend to climb this cliff. I know how you feel, but scaling this cliff face is just too dangerous. But you know, maybe my son could be of use. I don't know if he will help you any, but let's get him here so we can try. I'll need to borrow Boney for a bit. Boney, bring my son back here. His name is... Duster. And yes, this game came out in 2006, Eva. His name's Duster. Got that? Here, have a sniff of his sock. Ugh. That's rape. Don't forget the smell now. That's rape, alright. Tied a yellow ribbon to your collar. Show him the ribbon and he'll know exactly what's going on. Now fetch. You can count on me. Yeah, this is relatively late into the GBA's life cycle. But considering this game started development in 1994... What's really funny is you're probably... I told you about how awful the production line was and how many steps it had to go through. What I didn't tell you is that when they finally sat down and settled on making it for the GBA, it was actually an extremely smooth production with few issues or hiccups. Go figure. My God. Duster. Duster, wake up! Wake up! Duster. Long last, it's time to put the thief skills you've studied since childhood to the test. I'll show you a wall staple technique. Right here, right now. I did study the technique, but this is my first time using it for real. Hope this works. Sorry, it looks scalable here. That should do it. Flint, careful coming up. I'm more worried about Boney. How is the dog? You know what? Never mind. Say if there ain't stopped. I have a slight leg handicap. I'll do my best. Please take me with you. An all-thief party sounds like well, it sounds like a challenge run, honestly. Oh god, those are enemies. No! When did the GBA come out? The original GBA. Because obviously there's the SP, but I mean the first one. Oh, Boney's catching up to me in level. Oh god, yeah, so this is 5 years into the GBA's life cycle. That sounds about right. When did the DS come out, actually, now that we're on the subject? Hey, Flint, there's someone there. What are those? 2004? Wow. I didn't realize this came out that late. Again, there were still GBA games being made. Obviously, that always happens. There's always some bleed over. And the DS could play GBA games, but I didn't realize it predated it that hard. What are those? Are they human? What are they doing? So, a reconstructed caribou. Weak against lightning and numbness. Ow. Ow. Okay, oh, shoot. He has all the healing items. Okay. Just for you, Mook. Ow! That AoE attack, good lord. Also, notice this is our first real boss of the game, and its major feature, other than having health, is it has an AoE attack. Good god. I think they could make a new Mother game, Zeolite. I don't think they would. I mean, if nothing else, Undertale and Deltarune prove the viability of a modern Mother game. This game has never come out in the West, Evo. Lying on the ground is a notebook with a pig-nose-like mark on the cover. Following is written in poor handwriting. All the creatures around here suck. We need to make them cooler. So the theme will be tougher, rougher, badder. We'll mix and match this and that to create a whole new things no one's ever seen before. I dub it the Fascinating Chimera Project. Let's reconstruct and modify stuff slowly and steadily. Yeah, all these animals suck. Let's make them cooler. 20% cooler. No, we do not, Mr. Red. Some people will try to tell you they know why. They are lying to you. There are plenty of theories, but no facts. Sparrow advice. I'm going to explain skills to you. Oh, sorry for being so sudden. Anyways, you and all your party members have special skills you can use during battle. These skills might be centered around items, or physical actions, or whatever else. Basically, it's different for each person. For details, press start on the menu, and check everyone's status screen. It'd be a real waste to neglect your special skills, so give it a try. Well, now to end this with very Sparrow-like, chirp chirp. No, Itoi's still doing his thing. Unless you mean Iwata, which, yeah, he's been dead for a while. Which sucks. So that's an AoE. That's a buff. That's a buff. That's a high hit, high miss chance. So, okay. Use this to pin an enemy down and reveal information. Okay. Yes, Mook. In fact, obviously, no, Elizar. Since this game has actually never been released outside of Japan, most people only know Lucas from Smash Brothers, but quite a few people's first introduction to him, and indeed the Mother series, was in Smash. That also goes true for NES. And Fire Emblem. Why wasn't this game released in the West? I know you don't listen to me. But here's the in-depth explanation for exactly why this game was never released in the West. We don't know. I actually do have a fairly well-researched theory, but the problem is it's like a vague theory instead of a specific theory. There's this thing in Japan, I'll try to summarize. There's this thing in Japan where you're just supposed to not stir the pot. Just something has happened. Nobody's supposed to talk about it. I've encountered this several times in my career, in addition to just kind of, general exposure to Japanese culture. So, by all accounts, something happened, and that meant they weren't going to localize it. And when I say that, to be very clear about this, they knew the year this game came out, they weren't going to localize it. Whatever it was that happened. something happened, and everyone's being tight-lipped about it, and as a result, they will never port this game outside of Japan. Yeah, no, exactly, little Billy. Like, we know a few details. We know that Clyde Mandolin, who already had connections within the industry, reached out to them about a localization like a month after the game came out and received a hard no in response. That's why the fan translation was started so quickly. We know that Reggie reached out to Japan several times saying, hey, when's Mother 3 going to come out? And he was always given like a nonsense corporate answer in response. There's other details. I've done my due diligence on this one. And it boils down to there's a weird absence of information, like right around here. As we found the kids, seems they fell into the river and washed up here. I'll look after Boney. You hurry and see him. Come on, Boney. YouTube does say that. However, I've done my due diligence on that too, and I firmly disagree. A lot of people point to the copy-wrong issues with licensing labels, but the problem is there's just too many holes in that theory. Not the least of which being the fact that a lot of the issues that they raise up are issues that don't exist anymore, don't exist at all, or have already been bypassed. It's a nice theory, but it just doesn't fit the facts at all. Hell, one of the biggest reasons that Earthbound was not released in the West for the longest time had nothing to do with licensing at all. It was specifically, was not re-released, excuse me, let me be more clear about that. Had nothing to do with the licensing of the music, but had everything to do with the fact that it had a lot of, oh god, what do you call it? Flashing lights issues, right? So, if you, some of you may not even know this, when they re-released Earthbound, like on the eStore and stuff like that, they actually patched it to get rid of a lot of the flashing lights in the game in order to get rid of that particular problem. And that was the major concern. So, that particular theory was always wrong. I hate this. There's been like one hair that's just been sticking in my freaking eye for several days now. And every now and again it just decides to poke itself back down into my eye. It's like, no, go away. You stupid hair, go away. For the curious, there's actually a fairly well-researched thing talking about how many musical inspirations this game takes from pop music, which is the thrust of where the theory comes from for the licensing copyright issue. I'll link that in the VOD, like I said. But I firmly disagree, like I also said. Ah. So, Flint, we found the children. Oh, yeah, cool. We did it. We did it, Flint. Don't work together, there's nothing we can't do. And now you say that. Oh, Flint, Duster. This way, this way. Yeah, as a reminder, that whole epilepsy Pokemon issue was kind of a thing. Like, a lot of Japanese media was really epileptic, for lack of a better way to call that, until it started getting traction outside of Japan for how much issues of it, how many issues it was causing. I'm so sorry, Jetstream. I hope that you can endure that horrible, horrible piece of media. Dad? Hey, kids. I made some Innit tea, Flint. Please have some. It'll warm you up. Here, everyone should take a break and get warm, too. We haven't found Hinawa yet, but for now you should warm yourself by the fire. Keep this up, you'll wind up worse off than her. Thank goodness they're okay. What a relief. I guess I still haven't found Hinawa. Where the heck could she be? I wonder if they get to eat when their mom gets back. I hope she comes back soon. I wonder if Clausen and Lucas fell in the river. I guess I'm just glad they're okay. Seems they both fell in the river and got washed downstream. Poor little things. Yeah, you ever want a story about how hard it is to localize a JRPG? Go watch my video on Trails of the Sky sometime. Because that was a thing. And I think that's how we'll say that. That was a thing. Or Xenogears. Or Chrono Cross. Talked about it in all three. We've covered a lot of JRPGs this year, actually. Thank you, Paintress1133, very, very much. Always appreciate that support. Thank you. I'll jot that down for Expedition 33, Dragon Age 4, and FF7R2. And hopefully that will be a worthwhile investment. Okay. Kids are soaked to the bone. We need to get them warmed up. Boss? Lucas? Flint! Now what? Flint, I'm not sure what to say, but stay calm. Hear me out. I have good news and I have bad news. Which do you want to hear first? No, let's start with the good news first. I picked up a giant Drago Fang. It'll make for a great weapon. I figured you could probably use it. As for the bad news, it's where I found the Drago Fang. It was in your... It was pierced through your wife's heart. Flint, just try to stay calm. I think the only reason Klaus and Lucas are safe and sound now is because Hinawa risked her life to protect them. Flint. Flint. I'm not sure what to say. Please try to pull yourself together. Flint, what are you doing? Klaus and Lucas are watching. No, he didn't attack the kids. He attacked basically everyone else, though. No one's ever been thrown into the Tasmillies jail before. You have the honor of being the first. Flint, you gave Ollie and Abbott a real walloping, but they're all right now. About Hinawa, I can only offer my deepest condolences. Still, what if Drago attacks someone? They're such friendly creatures. Take it easy in here for a while. I know you must be having a hard time with this, but try and get some sleep. The Drago fang that was stuck in Hinawa's chest, I'll hold on to it for you. When you get out of here, come drop by my house and get it. Don't forget now. Let me out! Let me out! Dad, it's me, Klaus. I told Lucas to come too, but he's been crying at Mom's grave all this time. I'm gonna leave this apple here. The core might be hard, but the core might be too hard to eat, but be sure you eat it. I'm gonna get stronger. I'm gonna get so strong even Dragos won't stand a chance against me. Dad, I'm Ow. It's a good question, little Billy. Flint. Not really sure what to say. What happened to Hinawa was such a terrible tragedy. I can't say I know how you're feeling. Hinawa's burial ended without incident. Lucas has been crying at her grave ever since. His poor little heart seems like it's about to break in two. If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know anytime. Yeah, Duster at least has some, for lack of a better way to call it, emotional immaturity. Most of the people in this town do not. I don't mean that as an insult, to be really clear. Just a statement of fact. Remember, we live in an idyllic town which is surrounded by nothing but peaceful foliage and creatures on an island in the middle of nowhere. Good morning, Sean. Name a character that's chaotic neutral. Onaka from Star Wars. No, I guess that's not true, is it? He's more neutral evil. Never mind. Who would be chaotic neutral? What are we, sea otters? Sorry, we're just practicing our comedy routine. What are we, a freak show? Seems better than, what are we, sea otters? Or maybe it doesn't. What are we, sea otters? Has more edge to it. Deadpool. Edible mushroom. You know what? Fair. Godzilla is chaotic neutral. Kratos drifts around a little bit, depending on which game we're talking. If you need something from the map... Oh, Claus and Lucas, they're at Sunset Cemetery. Thanks. Mr. Flint, what's wrong? Why the long face? Come stop by our place. We're baking nut bread. Well, I do like nut bread. Here, please have this. This is the bread Hinawa and I used to make all the time. Please cheer up, okay? I'm sure that's what Hinawa wants, too. My mommy can make bread and cookies out of the nuts you bring her. She can make a cookie with 1 and bread with 3. Han Solo? Han Solo's neutral good. Harry's... Okay, they want you to think that Harry is chaotic good, but actually I contest that. I would say Harry is chaotic neutral. He is very anti-establishment, very anti-structure. Like, he is actively pro-chaos. But frankly, his actions and his overall approach don't really seem like he cares about good or evil so much as whatever's in his mind at the time. And that's pretty much the definition of neutral, is not caring about good or evil. Jack Sparrow's chaotic good. Thanks for the random stuff. Yeah, Discord drifts firmly into chaotic good. Seeing Lucas's sobbing face was too much for me to handle. Aww. I could see that Von Falkenstein, but you see why I lean more towards neutral than good, right? Yato's in. We won't over-pamper you here. I know this is very hard on you, but at least please be a strong father in front of your children, okay? I don't know, he was a pretty strong father in front of his kids earlier. Bugs Bunny? He's loony evil, obviously. Hello there. I wasn't the one who decided to place you in that jail cell. Really, it wasn't me. Okay, so you supposed to be in the jail cell? I understand how you must be feeling, but please don't lash out at those around you. Whew, so busy, so busy. Doing what? I don't have any hard feelings for you. I'm very open-hearted, you see. Alright. Yeah, that's actually a really good question, Savacon. No, you're right, Von Falkenstein. I'm not even contesting it. I need to pause and review. Being honest, I think the scene we just saw is more impacting in abstract than in execution. Him breaking down was good. The lead up to it was not. That is good, damn good animation, though. I mean, Frodo is literally nobility. Yeah, I forget what specifically these are, but yeah. Like, so we've got upper royalty, which is like Aragorn and Legolas. Then we've got nobility, which is like Pippin and the other one, as well as Boromir. Then we've got lower nobility, which is like Gimli and then Frodo. And then we've got the guy who actually works for a living. That's the hero of the story. What is nobility? Look it up, Eleazar. Webster's Merriam Dictionary. Yeah, Bilbo was actually extraordinarily wealthy. Let's ignore the mithril shirt for a second. He had a very nice house, tons of stuff, and plenty of money at his back. Yeah, exactly, Von Falkenstein. That's the point I was trying to make. Then he carted off his own little, like, treasure of doom from that adventure. Yeah. Yeah, even Tolkien himself said Sam was the real hero of the story. But frankly, I could have told you that, even if I disagreed with it. Even if Tolkien was like, Sam's not the hero of the story, I would disagree with him. Sam is the hero of Lord of the Rings. 100%. Nobody ever listens to me. Did I already jot down sprite work? I did, okay. Flint, you really lost it during that wild outburst of yours. I know you had your reasons, but it's wrong to act out your aggressions on others. Yeah, that... You're looking for the villagers. Almost everyone's at the Sunset Cemetery. Everyone loved Hinawa. Yeah, who's going to tell her father, by the way? We can forget happy things. We can probably forget sad things, too. People have the power to forget. That's a thing. No zombies allowed! Fine, jeez. Mr. Flint, this is such a terrible tragedy. Words fail me. I've humbly prepared a grave of the finest quality for you. Your wife's resting in it right now, but when the time comes, you'll be able to rest beside her. It's a top-notch grave, it is. Thanks? Something reminded of RimWorld. Got the really nice gravestone, you know? Seems Klaus was the first person at Hinawa's grave this morning. When I called out to him as he was leaving, he gave me a tiny little smile and suddenly dashed off. Nothing personal, but I'm not good at dealing with gloomy things like this. Even so, cry, cry, cry. Hinawa. Wah. She barely even got to live life, wouldn't you agree? I can't not drink at a time like this. Glug, glug, glug. Flint, Hinawa was always so kind to my wife. Wish I could say more for you, but I've never been at such a loss for words. Oh, Flint. Hello, Mr. Flint. Did Klaus go off somewhere? When's he coming back? Tomorrow? Hinawa dying. I just don't want to believe it. Flint, you and Hinawa, you two loved each other so much, even the little birds in the forest were jealous. And that'll never change, even after this. Thanks. Sorry for my old fan's drunkenness, Flint. My deepest condolences to you. Wish I could pound fate with this 2x4. I don't know what to say to Lucas. Oh, Flint. I was just trying to remember what sunflowers symbolize. Hinawa really loved them. Where's Klaus? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Feels like I only just introduced you to Hinawa, too. Sorry you have to suffer such sadness. She was so cheerful and nice. She was even my mommy's best friend. Mr. Flint, please cheer up. I'm sure Hinawa, I'm sure she's up in the sky now. Long time no see. It's me. I haven't been to the village in a while, but I rushed straight here after I heard about Hinawa. Just after I had such a wonderful time with my grandkids. Sorry. Say, come to think of it, where's Klaus? Is he not with you? He said he was going to see you, but then never came back. Lucas, do you know where Klaus went? No. Lucas, it's not good to keep secrets from people. Don't tell me Klaus went after that detestable Drago to try to... No, he didn't take Dad's homemade knife and go into the mountains to kill the Drago. Ah. It's a good thing you raised him to be honest, Flint. Does Klaus honestly think a homemade knife can kill a Drago? Lucas, why didn't you stop him? Well, I said I wanted to go too, but he said no because he was going alone. You just let him go? You fool! Well, shoot. Maybe that was a little too harsh of me. Flint, sounds like Klaus is heading to the mountains to kill the Drago that killed his mom. We're in a race against time, but this can't be any ordinary Drago we're dealing with here. We're going to need proper equipment first. Get a weapon to fight Dragos with and hurry to my place. Come get me in my house after you've got yourself a weapon. You remember where I live? If you don't have the maps, then mark it for you. Okay. Look, they had to use that jail at some point. They were really tired of it just sitting there gathering dust. Yeah, this is just such a great town, isn't it, Sawakam? I mean, obviously it can get worse, but... Whew. I don't remember which house this is. Wow, I just lucked into that one. It's the Drago Fang. I made it into a weapon. It's the only thing that can pierce the tough hide of a Drago is a Drago's Fang. No other weapon that can beat a Drago. Ever. Trust me. Unless you have a pig mask. I realize this might be tough for you to accept, but you should take it. A relic of a horrible accident. A fang sharp enough to pierce even a Drago hide. That's actually a good question. A side-by-side is a valid comparison point. Fortunately, I'm not sure I have a good answer for you. Let me chew on that for a bit. Yeah. And of course, we're back down to one party member. See, the problem, I think, both games have a similar approach. It's a semi-common strategy. Undertale does the exact same thing. Represent something as silly, specifically so you won't take it seriously. And then it can catch you by surprise when it suddenly turns serious. I'm explaining that badly, but, like, you know what I mean, right? MLP actually pulls this trick a few times, too. It's like, oh, this is just quirky and weird because it's quirky and weird. And it's like, no, that was actually foreshadowing. Oh, and our inventory is full. Oof, okay. Yeah, it's worth noting that even though I guess technically I've already listed us as being out of the intro, we kind of aren't. Hey, Spartan. Have you been trying to do voice calls on Battle.net? In the middle of the night, unprompted? Because I've been getting complaints about that. Also from me, because you tried to do that to me, too. Yeah, that's exactly why I brought it up. Your account might be compromised. So, heads up, I suppose. What I'm weirded out by is why would they do a voice call? Well, first thing to do is check your account. Actually, no, the first thing to do is change your password. You probably put an authenticator on that if you don't already have one. Yeah, just get rid of the nuts. These are dumb. Yeah, I sort of figured that wasn't you, because that felt like really strange and suspicious behavior. And then I heard about you doing it to other people, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's not Spartan. Something's up. It was mean, Retro Justice. Like I said, its primary feature was the fact that it had an AoE attack, an important point of the game which we have no AoE heals. Hi, Nordame. That might be worth doing. So anyway, sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. So, they do this thing where they try to portray something, and then it's essentially the old don't pay attention trick, right? The game specifically, or the work, sometimes this happens in non-interactive medium, they want you to not be thinking about it, so that they could slide little bits of foreshadowing under the radar there. So that when you watch it or play it the second time, you catch the thing. It's like, oh, wow, they were actually thinking about this the whole time. You know, that kind of stuff, right? This is a good example of that. There's actually a lot of foreshadowing in the first part of the game that we've already been through. In fact, I would go so far as to say the entire main plot has already kind of been portrayed, if you're paying attention. But almost all of it is only available with the advantage of hindsight. Because most of this just seems like weird, quirky silliness, right? Which leads me to the intro. So, gameplay-wise, I would say this is a much weaker intro than Earthbound's. It's more standard, if that makes any sense. And I think that's to its diminishment. The first, if you can even struggle to call it that, actual dungeon of just fighting regular enemies and gaining regular experience in Earthbound was when you go through the Sharks, the arcade. Now, some RNG can really screw over that section, as we demonstrated. But for the most part, that's just a way to really quickly shove some experience down your throat so you're ready for the actual first dungeon. Which then has lots of enemies who can hurt pretty hard, but are also designed to have weird things to help you fight them. For example, there's the rats, who don't do a lot of damage but have a high crit chance. So they're either really easy or they hurt like hell, and that kind of evens out a little bit. Furthermore, we have the slimes in that same area, which give a crap ton of experience to help you get caught up very quickly. And the boss of that section is relatively tame too, mostly just being an enemy with slightly better stats. Yes, my inventory is full, I get it. Now, don't mistake me, there's definitely some early game hell. I'm not trying to say that there isn't. In Earthbound, I mean. But the point is, it doesn't do the standard thing, and I sometimes wonder if the reaction to that was to do the standard thing here, because if you're paying attention, this is now the third time we've gone through what is effectively the same dungeon. Now, that's in keeping with the theme of Mother 3. One of the biggest things Itoi said when he was making this game was he really wanted... Oh, how did he phrase it? I think he used the word tourist. He rather disliked the fact that a lot of the times players feel more like tourists going through an area because they have no reason to go back to an area once they've completed the story arc for a particular section. So he wanted to have, rather than do this dungeon, then this dungeon, you go back through the same areas over and over and over, and those areas are supposed to change each time you go through. For example, the fact that this forest used to not be on fire, and that some of the enemies have changed as a result of that. Alright, next step, Spartan, is to make sure nothing's wrong with your characters. Hopefully nothing's wrong with your characters. There's the level up I was waiting for. Oh god, the Cop Gauntlet is actually really mean. No, I'm with you, Rex. Because honestly, this is still... That's, I think, part of the problem. I get the conceit of what he's going for, but honestly, this really is just the forest again. And really, these characters, these enemies, are barely different from the enemies we were fighting the first time we went through... Never mind, the second time we went through this forest. If I could use a parallel. In Diablo 1, you're always going through the catacombs underneath Tristram, and you're always returning to Tristram. But Tristram itself alters a little bit as you go through, mostly in terms of gameplay. And the catacombs are constantly changing as you're going through, because you're going through different layers of them, which have different enemies, and different terrain, and different loot that can drop, right? It feels like different dungeons, even though it is, in fact, the same dungeon. It's not a perfect example of the concept, but I think it's a better execution. Jesus Christ! I'm just getting RNG'd to death here. Holy crap. I got poisoned and then stunned. And I've gotten crit twice just in this one battle. Jesus. I think I'm getting all these frickin' heals. Yeah, it sounds like a typical Earthbound run for me. Anyways. Ah! There we go. Anyways. So what I'm trying to say is that I feel like this game tries to do something different from Earthbound in terms of its gameplay intro. And I feel like both fail for completely different reasons. Whereas Earthbound felt punishing because it didn't give you the tools to properly be able to progress. Mother 3 feels boring because we're just doing the same thing over and over again. But of course, nobody cares about the gameplay in an RPG, so let's talk about story. The thing about Earthbound is it kind of started off with its story right off the bat. Just, bam, here's the plot. No, really, like, obviously there are layers we're missing and there's reveals later on. But we know the plot extremely early in Earthbound. Let's actually look at the sequence of events. A meteor crashes in town. Oh my gosh. And then we go. There's the cops trying to check it out. We go over there. Something weird's going on. And then this fly comes out and says, hey, what's up? I'm from the future, which is already an apocalypse, and I'm here to try and stop that. You go back. You have not actually a boss fight. And then Buzz tells you all kinds of info about the future. Dies. And then off you go. Right? And you're ready to do your thing. I don't want to come across as if I like short intros, because Lord knows I already got too much bad rap on that direction. But what it does do is it gets across the point very quickly and efficiently. And when I say point, I mean theme, tone, plot. Also character. Because several characters have characterization as early as that first sequence. And then you go through the first town, and the first town is a huge step down in terms of overall tone, and yet it also serves as the very first step of escalation. I mentioned the sharks earlier, but what the sharks are doing is actually very low-key. It's ultimately just a bunch of local punks who are being local punks. Almost immediately after that, we go to the first Your Space, Please, where we deal with a giant ant, and that's kind of strange, and there's some weird mystical thing. I wouldn't worry too much about that. And then we go to Twoson, which once again brings it back down to Earth. But each step, if you were to look at Earthbound and zoom it out a little bit, thank God, Spartan. It starts off really actually high tier. Like, it starts off with end of the world stakes, and then it dips down, and it like escalates across Onett, and then it dips down again for Twoson, but it escalates above Onett, because we interact with the happy cultists, and we start to hear about a little bit about what's going on, and then it dips down again for Threed, but by this point, you see this kind of, oh, what's that called? It's a water thing, right? Where the water goes down, and then it dips up, but then it goes up, like this, except the other way. It's doing this weird, no, it's a structure, Lord Haramon. It's a, something you build in order to control runoff for water. Doesn't matter. Point being, there's like this U, and it's slowly escalating. Like, the overall game keeps escalating throughout Earthbound, but each time you peak, usually with one of the dungeon bosses, it dips back down into something more believable and relatable, which helps keep things a little bit more grounded. This continues for almost the entire game. Even when we get to Scaraba, it's still just a desert tourist town, right? With local issues and local whatevers. Just kind of doing its own thing. I really wish these guys would stop poisoning me. And then stunning me. Oh my god, die. Oh my god, die! Jesus! Frickin' snakes, I'm gonna die here. We might be about to find out what happens when I die, because I think... Okay, that's my last antidote. Sheesh. Oof, okay. Where are we? We're almost there, but, like, we got a fight coming up, and I am not ready for that fight. Let's push forward and see what happens. Anyways, the point I'm trying to get across is that it peaks early and then dips down into grounded. What does Mother 3 do? Mother 3 starts off very low-key, and then it doesn't go up or down. Instead, it goes sideways. I'm sure you're paying attention. I've been trying to read all the NPC dialogue out, because the game's tone moves laterally, right? Nobody's really reacting to things the way that they should. a spud bug. Ow. I mean, Ocarina does have a fantastic intro. LTTP is also another one. No, I hung up immediately. I did not answer the call. Mother 1, well... well, I'm about to die here. So we're about to see what happens when you die. Yeah, these guys know life up 1, which can literally heal for more than I can do damage. And there's 3 of them. Death. Okay, so this is what happens when you die. Get canon ending. Interesting it puts us back here. So, yeah, it's the same, it's the exact same thing as in Earthbound. No, that's my point, Retro Justice. What you're hearing is not me dismissive, it's just, it's indicative of the overall tone of the work. Earthbound was certainly weird. But it wasn't... How do I put this into words? Earthbound was very grounded. On purpose. It was a major point of the game. Oops, hang on. There we go. Yeah, Mother 3 isn't grounded. It, in fact, is actively not grounded. For lack of a better way to pull that. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can just pull this up really quickly. This might make this easier to explain. It's almost like it's Earthbound. I didn't do that on purpose. Before you ask. Is this not alphabetized? No, it is. I'm just blind and dumb. There it is. So you asked how Earthbound 0 starts. That is to say, Mother 1. Easiest way is just to show you, because it's very quick. Ah! 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 Yeah! Ah! Yes. In the early 1900s, a dark shadow covered a small country town in rural America. That shadow was called Spartan J42. At that time, a young married couple vanished mysteriously from their home. The man's name was George. The woman's name was Maria. 2 years later, as suddenly as he left, George returned. He never told anyone where he had been or what he had done, but he began an odd study, all by himself. As for Maria, his wife, she never returned. 80 years have passed since then. So this is how the game starts. We're immediately attacked by the lamp. It's Dragon Quest. The gameplay is Dragon Quest. I believe this is specifically based off of Dragon Quest 2? Don't quote me on that. Another game that was inspired by Dragon Quest 2 alongside Pokemon. Are you alright? Egad, what is happening to our house? I wish your dad was here now. Maybe telephone, please get it. Okay, hold on. This is your dad. Well, seems like a poltergeist. I'm not exactly sure how to, but your great-grandfather studied PSI. You might find something in the basement to help. But I left the basement key someplace. Can't remember exactly where. Anyhow, son, you're my only hope. Time for you to go on a little adventure and explore the potential of your powers. Powers not to be taken lightly. Go for it. But remember to come back and check on our family. Bye. Oh, phone me and I'll save your progress. Call me whenever you want. Slam. I think he says slam instead of, you know. Oh, this game is actually pretty terrible, by the way. For those of you not aware. Like, this game actually really sucks. Help me! Oh, what's wrong? So the screen shake is supposed to imply the, totally possessed creatures which are attacking everything. And this is kind of it. Like, this is the intro. You're woken up in the morning, get out of bed, and your lamp attacks you. And it turns out a bunch of the stuff in the house is all attacking the house. So, your dad calls you and says, hey, PSI is a thing, and you have it. So you should go defeat all these creatures that are making the house be attacked. That's kind of how the game starts. It's... I mean, I've seen worse. I remember the very first time I ever played this. And I was so confused, because obviously it's still in Japanese. So I just get out of bed and I'm attacked by the lamp, and it's like, what? Phenomena has stopped for the moment. I was scared to death. Oh wow, check out what's hidden inside the doll. And there's the first tune that we need. Brother, here's some juice. You are thirsty, aren't you? Yeah, Savacom. You alright? Egad, what has happened to our house? Wish your dad were here now. Well, he's not, so let's go. And that's it. That's the intro. Yeah, if I ever review this game, which to be clear, I don't want to, this would very thoroughly be an awful game. That's kind of it. Like, you've seen the intro, for all intents and purposes. That's it. Anyways. Might as well make a save just in case. Why not? Yeah, this is one of those historically significant games. And it is, to be very clear. But, I'm good. I think we've covered enough historical games to last me a lifetime. No, Savacom. It's not even on the list. Hang on. First, let me say thank you, Spartan, for the donation, as always. Yeah, it's a very unfun game. It's the nicest possible way I could phrase that. It is miserable. The way that I like to explain Earthbound Zero, because of development issues, remember how many issues he had getting the game made at all, because everyone thought he was just a poser, was just another celebrity sashaying his way into the video gaming space. So he had issues, right? Psychic powers, Evo. Although it's actually way more complicated than that. But I'm not sure if I should spoil that here, because it is a spoiler. No, Ross, no. um, uh, Words, I lost my train of thought. Right. So he was having so many issues getting the game made and getting the game, like, getting it off the ground, that they kind of had already started burning through budget before they ever actually started to really make the game. So they reached a point where they were completely out of budget, which means there's parts of the game they didn't do QA on. No, you didn't hear that correctly. Let me be very clear about this. There's parts of the game they did no QA for. None. And let me tell you, it shows. So let's see, Dead Space R, Prime Hunters, and Patch Trail actually is funded, so I'll put it towards Homeworld. Quite frankly, yeah, Blades of All. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's not even that buggy. It's just, it is absolutely not QA tested. I know what you're thinking. If the game is that awful at points, why did it become so popular? So, you know how there's that phenomenon where, like, if you were to graph percentage of people who've completed the game and the furthest, you know, the getting through the game, like this is the timeline of the game, this is how many people have played it, it just trends downwards. That's why. Most people who played Earthbound Zero never got to the parts which are where the quality noticeably stopped existing. And I'm going to say it that way. Stopped existing. It's the same reason people remember certain games in more modern eras thinking, oh, that game's great. What they really mean is, the first few stages of that game are great. Okay, so Dr. Winter asked an extended question, which I'm still trying to understand. It boiled down to, should a leveling system make sense in lore? Now, sometimes it does. Sometimes games go out of their way to make a leveling system actually make perfect sense in lore and line that up and blah, blah, blah. Hang on a second, Richard. Hang on. Yeah, some games do, most games don't. I don't mind there being a lore justification for getting stronger. FF5 comes to mind immediately. I suppose my ultimate answer is I'm just a little bit too familiar with games to insist that there's a lore explanation for some stuff. You know what I mean? Like the example you gave with Fallout New Vegas. I don't really mind becoming this Death Doom as a result of leveling across Fallout New Vegas because it's a video game. If there's some lore explanation for it, that'd be neat, but I don't really need it. Most Sunshine Syndrome games I've reviewed. I mean, we did just go through Quake 1. Like, that's probably not the most, but honestly, Quake 1 was a pretty stark contrast. Episodes 1 and 2 were really, really, really good. Episode 3 was a net neutral. Episode 4 tanked the score. Okay, now I'm going to enter Retro Justice's character. Let's see. And by character, I mean question. So far, the music in this has been fine. I should mention, for those of you not aware, none of the composers, because there were multiple, what the heck is this guy? Who worked on Earthbound or Mother Zero, actually, or Mother 1, excuse me, worked on this game. Yeah, Ramza is actually a really good example of segregation. Ramza in Final Fantasy Tactics, by the end of the game, kills demigods. Canonically by himself. But, like, how and why? Well, the answer is because he leveled. And that's the answer. There's really nothing else there. Oh yeah, Fire Emblem. That's another one. Most Fire Emblem games, really. And when the system contradicts itself? I mean, so the only way to bypass that would be to leave a leveling, like to say, a gameplay restriction on what you could raise and where. And I gotta be honest, that would be terrible. All that does is D&D actually does that. I forget the term for that, but it's when you have to buy something. It's tax, right? It's leveling tax. You have to raise X before you can raise Y. And that's why most games don't do that, is because it is ultimately a form of padding. You have to waste a level, or a level's experience points, or a level's intellect points, or skill points, or talent points, or feats, or whatever, on something you don't want, in order to get something you do want, right? WoW used to be really bad about this, WoW Classic, as well as BC both. There was a whole lot of problems with the talent system because a lot of those talents were just completely wasted talent points, but you needed them because further down the tree was something you actually wanted. Can I buy stuff from you? Nope. I'm not even sure they have a concept of money here. I feel like there's some game somewhere, and I can't remember which one it is, where simply by raising one, you automatically raise the other, and that kind of covers it. But at the same time, and, like, at that point, why even bother do it? It's not even busy work. It's just, hey, by the way, your strength is higher because you've been raising your attack skill. And it's like, okay. So is there no shop? I came back to like, buy items and gear up, and I don't think there's a shop. Oh, okay. Onwards, I guess. Either way, to answer your question in simplicity, no, it doesn't bother me when a game contradicts itself with build potential, because at that point, that's just letting the player do whatever. I mean, it's a good game, Mr. Red. No, I wasn't joking. I'm pretty sure they don't actually know what money is yet. We must introduce capitalism to these imperialistic dogs. Who have no idea how to take care of grieving children. If there's an auto battle, I'm not familiar with it. Which is funny, because Earthbound 0 has auto battle. The NES game. Oh, that. I don't know if that feature exists in Mother 3. In Earthbound, that was dependent on your speed stat, of all things. Because your speed would go up at a fairly regular pace based on your level. We're clearly not there yet, one way or the other. Ow. Stop smashing me, please. And boosted by back attacks, that's true. And reduced by red attacks, while we're on the subject. There are situations where you could be higher enough level to one-shot an enemy, but if they get a back attack on you, you still have to fight them. Yeah, it could be Savacon. Who knows? It is worth noting we're using a fan translation. It is considered the best fan translation ever made, but it is still a fan translation. Oh, and before you ask, Mr. Ito himself has formally, like, on camera, endorsed this fan translation. He's also said the odds of it ever getting translated, like, officially, are basically zero. In battle or out, Blade of All? I'd say they're pretty decent so far in battle. We've only seen like 6 enemies so far. Yes, Savacon. And done by a lot of people. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Metroid Prime 4, probably. And Pokemon, you know, Violet Scarlet. Also Pokemon Legends CA. Let's see, what else? Do I have any other antidotes? I do not. That's cool. Yep, this is just our life. Oh yeah, Air Riders is out, I suppose, now. Yeah, we're dead. Speaking of that early game hell, we were just talking about in Earthbound. Yeah, Prime 4 is not very far out. What, 2 weeks, I want to say? Something like that. Three weeks? I don't know. Less than a month at this point. Oh, okay. How was... Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, no, any RPG that forces you to have one party member at the start tends to run into this problem because of, as we've discussed many times, action economy. Under, Mr. Red. Under, definitely under. I know you don't care about story or indeed good games, but Violet just crushes Arceus. Right. Guys, do you want to tell him or should I? I wonder what the speedrun record is. Can someone do me a favor? What's the any % speedrun record for Mother 3? I'm curious. 36, huh? $50. Damn, that is probably worth it. 6 hours. Damn. That's rough. Ooh. Okay. Please don't poison me. This isn't about what I was expecting out of this burn. Sorry I'm going quiet, but like we're about to die again. And we're dead. We're gonna try to run. I don't know. We're down to 13 health. There's the barrier boss we couldn't get past last time. 9 health. I mean, what's the point? I can't get rid of the poison, and it lasts forever, Chill Pangolin. That's just a failed prospect. So we're at 1 health. I'm guessing we cannot die from poison. Okay, got past the barrier boss. There's a frog up here. Still poisoned. Oh god. New enemy type. Air. Well. We're dead. It's okay. Dying cures poison, I think. Hey! We're cured. So this thing hits us for about 1/4 of our health every time it hits us. Just to be clear about how insane this is. Like, we are at half health now. So I'm not going to heal. As near as I can tell, we don't lose anything from dying. Remember, there's no currency yet. So... So there's no money to lose, and we don't lose inventory, and we don't lose experience, and we don't even lose progress. It's very Breath of Fire. Yeah, we're gonna body drag, corpse drag our way to victory here. Yeah, it's because of the rolling HP thing. Same thing from Earthbound. It works, I believe, exactly the same way. Oh, yep, yep, yep. Let's jot down some thoughts. That's true, it does roll more slowly in Mother 3. So I shouldn't say exactly. I mean, who would want to play a Mario Kart game? Ugh. Mario Kart's for babies. Disgusting. Ugh. Look forward to the Mario Kart block, by the way. It's just coming up hopefully this year. We'll see how that works out. Well, we're still leveling, so yeah. Yeah, get rid of the nut. Just the nut. There we go. Since I am now full on inventory, I might as well use something. We'll eat the mushroom. Mushrooms are good, right? And the nut cookie. Why not? See, this is what years of hating co-op does to a man, Mr. Red. Look at Mario Kart and think, ugh. You gotta get the ugh away. It's very important. Oh, I'm gonna jot that down too. Of course, Eleazar. I know I'm secretly a joke to you, and that's okay. Let's put this under this. I mean, at least the enemies are dropping stuff pretty regularly, but God, they hit hard. And they'll give me about 1/10 of a level at the state I'm at. As we've talked about before, 10 enemies to level is not a great ratio, especially when combat is as mean as this. That guy gave me a 20th of a level. I could see that, Retro Justice. Oh my god, and my inventory is full again. Hey, random. Ah! It's a crag lizard. Well, I don't know what you have on the Switch, Mr. Red, because yeah, obviously all that applies. How am I enjoying it? Well, the story so far is pretty good, and the gameplay so far is pretty terrible. Not the norm for a JRPG, really. suppose I should mention the HP, or the HP. Inventory woes. Well, so far I haven't figured out how to do the rhythm combat at all, and they also haven't explained it yet at all. So far I kind of hate it. If they ever explain it to the point where I can figure out what the hell I'm doing, I'll give you a more in-depth answer to that. But at the moment, every time I succeed at it, it's because of luck. I mean, there's actually a lot of gameplay stuff they haven't even talked about yet. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, for the record, I've been hitting the button on the beat every single attack in the entire game. All of them. I have no idea why it works sometimes, partially works other times, and doesn't work other times. And how you feel, but stay away. There are ants at your feet. You might actually stumble on them, so please don't continue in that direction. Oh, those poor ants. Oh my god. Yes, fine. Throw away the ancient banana. Yes. Good god. Yeah, I wonder how inspired he was by the Mario RPGs, which by this point were a long since a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure Paper Mario 2 was out before this. Maybe I shouldn't say it. When did Paper Mario 2 come out? Because one way or another, Paper Mario 1 and Super Mario RPG predate this. And I'm almost positive Mario and Luigi 1. Okay, so Paper Mario 2, and 1, and SMRPG, and Mario and Luigi 1 all predate this game. So yeah, you can't tell me there wasn't some inspiration there. I want to see a pig seeing the ocean. I want to see the ocean. It's right there, dude. Turn around. Not wasting food is a commendable thing, but does that make things a little harder for me? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you made it. Traveling through the forest has become quite dangerous indeed. What are those two extremely bizarre flying mouse things with bug wings? Seems one bit me right on the head, too. I've healed up perfectly, though. No, none of that matters. I know where Klaus might have gone. According to my froggy intelligence, he's at my friend's house. Let's head there right now. Okay. Which is where? Flint. When I said froggy intelligence just now, you thought, What? Didn't you? Frogs work for my friend as messengers. My friend is able to talk with frogs, lizards, and what have you. See that lizard there, for instance? We just need to go in the direction it tells us. Okay. Flint. You have doubts about this friend of mine, don't you? My friend, no, friends, are known as I'm not sure how to pronounce that. In my head, I've always called them magpies, for obvious reasons. Magipsies is how we're going to call that. They've lived isolated away from civilization for a very, very long time. That's why we're going to call it Magipsies. I am a lizard. I will show which direction you'll need to go. Round and round we go. Where I stop, soon you will know. Thanks. You know what? They're the magpies. We're just gonna call them the magpies. Let's just step over that. I mean, I didn't even know that was a slur until extremely recently. Because it's not a slur here in the States. I see you're not walking as fast now. It seems the word magpies has made you curious. The magpies have mysterious powers and have been protecting something here for a very long time. They're neither human nor beast, neither man nor woman. I have absolutely no idea how old they are. That explanation didn't help much, did it? Basically, they're strange. All of them. Every one of them. That's just how they are. They are good-natured, though. Right. Could be, Mook. Like I said, I didn't even hear about that one until pretty recently. Ah! Trying to put... whatever. They really like their backtracking, too. I think I'm also going to ding the game for backtracking. We have gone back and forth over the same area in the intro already at least 5 times. I might be lowballing it. Oh, there's the frogs. Wrong. I am the wrong frog. Right. The right frog. I mean, those are great games, Mr. Red. So, can confirm. One second, please. I need to double check something, because I might be chopping off a little early. Let me check something really quick. Yeah, because they don't actually produce it anymore, Mr. Red. So, the price goes like it does. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and chop off here. We've got quite a ways to go before the end of Chapter 1. Longer than I thought. For some reason, I thought this was a much shorter chapter. My goodness. So, save. And I'll be back after the lunch break.